All right, guys, we're back. Ready to onward this show.
Onward onto the first review of the day.
I'm gonna stop, dude.
We're gonna start.
Lame.
Okay, let's go onward with this.
So
thing.
here we go, guys. Onward with Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, or Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, whatever way you guys want.
One more time.
But I'm telling you guys right now, Tom Holland is like the it kid right now. They're putting him in front of everything,
dude, and with good. I mean, with good intentions. Good reasons, dude. I mean, the kid is hitting home runs one after the other. So,
and Chris Pratt can never go wrong with that guy, man.
Oh yeah, man. Let's make Chris Pratt the legacy, the new legacy character. Like what I mean is like, you know, for the new Indiana Joneses and all that other stuff.
I wouldn't mind seeing him as Indy, dude. I would not mind. Dude. I like that guy a lot.
Yeah.
I should start by saying though that this film really impressed me with their voiceover. Dude, and we'll get into this right now, but the voiceover in this film was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
I could see how some of these characters or some of these actors really like worked hard on what they were doing to create the right feeling.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the film now Pixar is using face capture for their characters. It looks really seamless, you know. Pixar always breaking, the boundaries of, of what they are used to doing. It really makes perfect sense if they would do that now that, what is it called? ILM and all these other companies. It's not the same as Pixar, but they're doing it. So why not Pixar? Right. Pixar led the way on many fronts with that. So that's great. But one of the things I really want to make sure we cover is that this weekend it made 40 million, and it was it seems like it's underperforming right now for what the Pixar standard is. I think Pixar is a wide net. Like, if you see a Pixar film on the roster, you stay away from it, or you have to do counter programming, something completely different, which is what Ben Affleck did. Ben Affleck's movie did.
Right.
So yeah, it's sad to see that it's underperforming. It's the lowest Pixar opening weekend of all time, unfortunately, with two big stars. And yeah, so we talked a little bit about this on the show, but maybe we could reiterate a little bit on that why it underperformed.
So I do believe that the movie was a little under marketed. Obviously, that was one. Two, I would say that because it was under marketed, a lot of the people didn't know, including myself, that this film belonged to Pixar. Mm-hmm. I got to be honest with you guys. I've really if they would have asked me what studio's carrying Onward, and I wouldn't have obviously gone into it in depth, I would have said DreamWorks. DreamWorks are the people that brought you a Shrek, all the Shreks, the Baby Bosses, all that kind of stuff.
How to Train Your Dragon,
all that stuff. I thought it was a DreamWorks movie. I didn't think it was Pixar. And I think that was one. I think two was the fact that, yes, right now, I think we're living in a world right now where we're seeing a lot of things on the news, and it's really making us reconsider what we can do actually at home instead of going out. And because of the virus that's going on right now over everywhere, people are scared. And so I'm sure that probably didn't help the fact that Onward didn't do as great.
Yeah, that's true. It is, to your first point, I do see how that would be confusing, because if you look at DreamWorks, they're really focusing on fantasy, goblins and dragons, all this other stuff. And that's what Pixar what did with this movie, but they really did a modern take on it. They aged all that era into today's time, and it's really cool. Like, you can see kids on their phones, and just millennials being that's really smart. And I hope that people don't take it like just another fantasy film with wizards and dragons. So
I do like the route they went with how they made magic into a secondary thing because it just got difficult by using magic. So they went the route that we go, which is using cars and using things that we can build with our hands. And I felt that was very clever. Whoever wrote that was great because it did give you the feeling of it being magic. That magic isn't something that completely is out of the question, but that it used to be something that was significant. And the fact that they attacked this film that way really, really made me smile. Yeah. Because they were able to use that narrative and carry out throughout the whole movie, which made me love it.
Yeah,
well.
For sure. So there's definitely good things about the film. Is there anything that you didn't like about the film?
If I were to have to say there were some things that I felt like sometimes the movie would go to certain places where it didn't need to. And I feel like it was to take some time up. And I feel like at the same time, when you say this, you have to be careful because we need that sometimes in films to be able to develop these characters or the closeness to the characters and also be able to join them in that chemistry that they've developed through this movie. Yeah. And so, but there's times where they've already achieved that and they still add more. And sometimes it just goes with early directors, people that are just getting into their own, this kind of film is maybe why that happens. But I felt that there was some really, there were some parts that could have been a little shorter or not added into the film.
Yeah, you know what? I totally agree with you on that. There's
not spoil anything, but that's what I felt.
There's some moments in the film where I'm like, why are we on this journey or what this path is about? There's a resolution of the film with like something like the climax of the film, pretty much, action wise, and it could have been done differently. It could have been straight to the point instead of giving these sub characters, subplots that led you to the same outcome pretty much. And so I would say with the mom,
right.
And so that aside though,
I could see how you,
you could have not used her. And I like the character of the mom. I really do.
Played by Louis Dreyfus from Seinfeld.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, see, I like her. But the character itself, I just felt like it wasn't necessary.
I agree.
But it added value to the last few scenes of the movie where you resolve with certain characters, meeting up with certain people and stuff, and seeing how the mom really took on that role. One of the letdowns to kind of give me a counter on that myself is that the mom had really little to do with the father of the character
or they made it seem that way.
Yeah, I would have thought that the mom would have been more involved in the whole process.
I think that was I think they did it with a purpose. I did love, however, you're absolutely right. I felt like the mom was wasn't
really needed
throughout a lot of the film, but I do think that the unicorn lion, what was it? Played by Octavia Spencer. Oh my God, this lady did such a great job. Yes, this character made me laugh. I love this character. She did really good to me. I really loved it, especially when they go to the restaurant in this scene. And
that was a good scene.
She's just like a manager at a restaurant and they're trying to convince her about what she used to be. Remember, these animals are mythical creatures and they anyway. So I love what they did with her particularly. I didn't like the ending completely.
What? Oh my gosh, that made me cry,
absolutely tear-jerking stuff.
Dude, yes, absolutely.
But there's a reason why I didn't like the ending, and it was because the boy and the Tom Holland character and the dad and the Chris Pratt character at the end and the meetup and how that transpired. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
So something happens in the film. It's all pretty much
I don't want to spoil it, but
basis of the film, and you don't get it. You get changed. It gets changed up a little bit at the very end, and
it made me upset.
I love the fact that they did that because I
don't know, man. Dude, I went through this whole journey with this kid. Like, even in the beginning, like, he was like,
why?
I just didn't like it, bro. I didn't like that.
And I was surprised. I'm surprised that you say that, but I would explain my point of view on that is that this is a Pixar film. If you know anything about Pixar films, they're realistic in the emotional sense of the word. They really try to be relatable to what's happening in society and stuff like that. You have to say that this is like something that's happening across, the world nation. You know what I mean? People are being fathered by others. And so that's something,
agree
and that's it was so cool to see because realistically speaking, we don't have magic to bring back our loved ones, and right. So they are trying to teach kids a lesson like, hey, you don't have the power to bring back anyone, but enjoy those who are around you right now.
Yeah,
and learn from them.
It was one day, and this kid hadn't met him, So that's
I get
my thing, and I'm trying not to spoil this whole thing, but it's one thing that it didn't spoil the movie for me. I really enjoyed this.
I had to hold back my tears, guys. Like I really didn't want to cry. Liz, we have an audience here right now. Did you cry? You had a little tear.
I cried a little bit.
Yeah,
I cried a little bit too.
She cried a little bit.
I cried a little bit.
Dude, I had to like stop myself. I had to look down and sip my soda water because like I was really gonna cry like really badly, dude. I really was. It was powerful, man. It was really powerful.
The dad and bot.
The resolution was almost perfect. Almost perfect.
Yeah, I that's the only gripe that I had with it. Other than that, man, I loved Octavia Spencer, dude. This lady has to continue to do voiceovers, man. She did great.
She did great.
Tom Holland did great. Chris Pratt did great.
Yeah, he was okay. His character was like a little bit annoying. Over the top,
a little annoying at times, but I think that we all have those friends. Maybe I'm one of those friends that are like overly like that, and they do things just because they want to help you.
Right?
And
yeah,
I know that's one of the reasons why this character was the way that he was in the film.
Yeah,
and I can respect that, and I love that they take these really real concepts of life.
Mm-hmm.
And they adapt them into these characters, and it was a great movie. Pixar, you guys are amazing. I hope that the movie makes more money because it deserves it.
It really does. It's one of the better Pixar films that have come out in recent years. Yeah. So please go see it. It deserves your watching your money.
What's your score?
My score is a 4. And this is the first time I think I do like middle of 0.5, 4.3 in my opinion. I think it's great. It has all the notes of a Pixar film.
It's a good one.
But the pacing of it is a little underwhelming. Like sometimes I feel like it doesn't really do things that are really needed and unnecessary. They do things unnecessarily. So yeah, that's my score.
Yeah, I'm going to give this film a 3.9. A 3.9. I think it did really well. I loved it. I'm not going to give it quite a 4 because I wasn't happy with a few things. And also these directors need to know they don't have to add a lot of stuff to make these characters work. Mm-hmm. I felt the movie was a little long, but 3.8. I think it's a good score. Pixar, you guys know what you're doing. I can't wait for the next project. I actually can't wait if you guys make a second one to this. Maybe it'll give me a little resolution with that.
No, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think so. Unfortunately, not.
Hey, man, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, press the notification button, and really, guys, we're super grateful for everyone's views and subscription. Anything, you guys have anything to say to us? Put it down in the comments
on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever else. Just hit us up
and stay
moving minded. Peace.
Yeah.